Hello friends, this is Satarupa. For people who don't know me, I'm actually a counselor first, a life coach, and I'm also a spiritual seeker and a channel. And as I'm a channel, I generally post, write, or speak about things which my guides, the Galactic Masters, the Ascended Masters, the gods and goddesses guide me as and when I talk about those subjects. And so today I have been guided to talk to you about the stored emotional pain that many of us are carrying. As the word stored means, it is we all understand that it is something that is not out in the open. It is something which is stored, which is hidden. And emotional pain is something that we all have been familiar with in our lives. From childhood, there are many occasions of emotional pain. It may be rejection from your mother while you went to the kitchen and asked her for something and she just refused you. It may seem very silly and very small, but this is the way emotional pain gets stored. You feel so rejected, you feel so hurt, and it becomes a block, a storage inside your psyche, and which even years later makes you hesitant to go in front of your mother and ask her for something which you know that you need and it is your right to ask for. But somewhere in your psyche is stored that emotional pain of hurt, of rejection, which your childhood had given you in such a tender age and which you are carrying through your whole day, night, and through all your years of being grown up and matured and understanding, but still that remains inside you. This emotional stored pain can be from your childhood, from your parents, from your friends, from the bullying you received in your school, from all the rejections, the trauma that you received while you were in relationships as a very small kid, as a kid who was talking to the locality children, playing with them, walking with them, and some thoughts, some words hit you in such a way that they became a trauma inside you, something which you never disclosed and took it for granted in life. Such is the emotional pain that we store. And sometimes the pain is too much when we have been through a broken home. Suppose our parents are divorced, or we lose one of our parents at a very tender age, early age. We also face a lot of emotional trauma when we are in our teenage, when we are growing up and we cannot make the world understand exactly what is it that we want them to understand about us. We are mixed up about our feelings, our thoughts, what we want to do, what we really want in life. It is at this time that we get into emotional discourses and also emotional anger towards parents and the peer group and many other people whom with we interact. It is the age when we fall in love, we select our first partner, and it may just the rejection of that partner that creates a deep wound or trauma inside you. It can be anything of your childhood, of your teenage. It can be your failed relationships in your adulthood. It can be your rejection by your boss when you went to the first job and you were so meanly demeaned in front of others that you are still carrying a very low self-esteem and a very deep trauma about that way of behavior of your boss in that job that you went to. It can create a deep wound inside us. It can be anything in after marriage, with our in-laws, with our husbands or wives. It can be something to do with our children also. It can be as simple as your children rejecting you for the daycare that they are in. We may prefer to be in the daycare or with the nanny they are with and not accepting you when you return home late at night as a mama. It can be anything like that. It can be your friends rejecting you for not studying the selected roles that we are supposed to take of a doctor, engineer, and suppose you are in a stream which is very different from what they have chosen, and you are rejected, and somewhere you are not accepted, and that also creates a trauma, a wound inside you. It can be anything from sexual abuse to rape. These are huge things, but they are very deep traumas which really need a systematic counseling to take it out of your system. But today I would like to address very small hidden traumas that we all hold inside our body, inside our mind, and which is very difficult to let go of, because as we understand pain is something which makes us distressed, and many of us, in order to avoid this distress, just bury it, just intellectualize it, and we just feel that this is something which is not my own, this is something which I don't need to process, and you store it deep inside your psyche, you intellectualize it, and you forget it. But just forgetting it does not mean that it has gone out of you. The easiest ways to find out whether you are still holding on to trauma is just reflecting back and seeing if there is anyone or any incidents in your life which give you deep pain. And whenever you see those incidents, whenever you hear those words, or whenever you remember those people or those situations, you go into a depression or anger or irritation or anything which is not your normal self. That is enough to indicate there is some stored grief, some stored pain, some stored anger there. Sometimes it's not anger, sometimes it's not grief, it's not pain also. It's a huge amount of guilt. Guilt because we were the ones who chose the situation. We walked into the situation, we welcomed that situation by being friends with certain people we knew were not good enough for us, but still we persisted because we liked the person, and we invited a lot of trauma into our life. This guilt can be paralyzing, and it can become a body ache all over your body, which you may not even understand why is happening. Doctors may not find a cause for it, but it may be just guilt all over your body about something which you have not forgiven yourself for. It may be a deep shame that something like this happened in your life. The way you were rejected, the way you were scorned, the way you were belittled in front of everyone can leave a deep mark inside your psyche, and it can become a trauma. I know many of us refuse to go back to those moments, but you have to understand that we want to move forward in life. If you really want to create something which will change your life, which will make your life just as you want it to be, first of all, you have to let go of all the old baggage. Because unless and until your body, your mind, your emotions are totally free and easy and light, you cannot create what you want to in your life. And for your emotions, for your feelings to be totally light, first of all, you have to acknowledge them. The best way to acknowledge them is sit in a silence, in a meditation if possible for you, or if it is not possible for you to be in a meditative state, just breathe in and breathe out, and connect and reconnect to your body. We seldom connect to our body, and our bodies are very intelligent, and they can guide you through everything that you have been in your life, because where we stored the trauma is our bodies, is our minds, is our emotions, and everything that is stored in our minds and emotions are again reflected in our body. So if you talk to your body, if you listen to your body, if you build a relationship with your body, you will understand how deep your body is, how much it conveys to you. So if you just breathe in for a few moments and listen to your body, shut your eyes and see what you're feeling inside your body. Just go back to the incidents which were painful, which were hurting, which created a trauma in your minds and which you refuse to think now because of all the pain that it brings up. Just reconnect to those incidents. Just reconnect to the trauma of that moment. Just relive that trauma. Feel that trauma, feel that incident, feel that pain, feel that helplessness, feel that hopelessness. For the minute, try to be in that minute as it was then. And as you go back to that time, go back to that incident, you will realize how painful, how traumatic it had been for you. And as you breathe in and you think of that incident, you realize somewhere in your body it is more heavier than the other part. It can be your chest, it can be your lungs, it can be your legs, it can be your lower back, it can be anything, any place where you hold your trauma. It may be a splitting headache that comes to you. Yes, it's the place where you're holding your trauma. So first of all, acknowledge that you have a trauma. Acknowledge that you have a pain that is even inside you and you're just not acknowledging it. The first step is to accept it. Something we cannot change. Something in our past which has already happened, whatever be the reason. Whatever the situation, it is something that we cannot change. So the first thing is to accept it. Accept the pain. Accept the trauma. Accept the emotion, the hopelessness, the helplessness, the anger, the bitterness, the feeling of unfairness, whatever comes to your mind, just accept it. Accept that I felt those emotions. Accept that it made me feel paralyzed inside. It made me totally traumatic. And if you're ready, you can now cry your hearts out. You can scream. You can take a pillow and just fight with it. Whatever makes you feel easier, just do it. Because all these years you have been storing it inside you and it has been eating you up. So it's now time, my friends. It's very much the time to reflect back on your past, on your past pains, traumas, emotions, and just let it go. How? It can be just accepting it, acknowledging it. It can be by crying out the pain. It can be by venting your emotions to screams and angers and fights with the pillow. It can be anything that makes you feel lighter inside. Just let go of these emotions. And as you breathe in, you'll start feeling a lot more calmer inside. And as you start feeling a lot more calmer inside, now just reflect back on what happened. Was it in some way your fault? Did you invite that situation into your life by some mistake of your own? Some misjudgment? Some misreading of some persons? That's fine. Now come on. Go back to yourself and forgive yourself for being and doing that. Just remember when you forgive yourself that you don't have to be so angry with yourself. You did this because at that moment of pain, when you did this, whatever mental, emotional development you had, whatever psychological setup you had, that was the best thing that you wanted to do. That was the thing that you were guided to do maybe. So it may be a mistake for you now that you have endured that pain, now that you endured that feeling of stress, strain, hopelessness, helplessness, unfairness. But at that moment, it was okay for you, whatever the reason. So forgive that part of you, that past of you. Go back to that part of you and tell that part of you. Be it a 7-year-old, be it a 2-year-old, be it a 14-year-old, be it a 21-year-old, and just tell that person, it's okay, you made a mistake, you didn't know better, and just forgive yourself. Forgive yourself totally and completely for doing something which you did not understand any better than, and what you did was the perfect thing to do. Now come back again to the situation and breathe in and out. And as you breathe in and out, see and check if the situation was in any way because of someone else or someone else's behavior, attitude, ego, misconception, misunderstanding, anything which was responsible for this pain that you are still carrying. Then let's come and forget the past and forgive that person. You may say it's too big a pain to forgive. I cannot forgive that person. He or she simply ruined my life and has been the cause of so much trauma, so much pain to me over the years. But remember, my friend, as you hold on to this pain, you are not disturbing that person. You are not giving trauma to that person. The person you are harming, the person who is being affected the most is you, no one else. And if you really love yourself, you will remember it's high time that we forget and forgive and move out of that trauma. Because carrying that trauma can in no way help you. It's something that you need to release. Something that is high time that we left behind and moved on with our lives. So come on, friends. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Fill your hearts with a lot of love. And say, I forgive you. I forgive you for whatever you did to me. It is no longer a part of my life. I accept that it pained me. I accept that it hurt me. I accept that it damaged me. I accept that it made me angry. I accept that it made me feel helpless. I accept that it made me feel hopeless. I accept that it made me feel that life is unfair. But still, I understand it is just a part of me which I no longer need to carry. And so I forgive you. I forgive you totally and completely. I hold no unforgiveness, Fred. You are free and I am free. Just say this 3 times. I'm holding the space for you. Just say this 3 times. I forgive you totally and completely. I hold no unforgiveness back. You are free and I am free. And just feel your body. Your body will be so relaxed, so peaceful, so happy after you are forgiven and moved on with life. The best way, when sometimes it is not easy to forgive, it is not easy to move on, is to write down your feelings in a journal. Write down everything about that incident that burns you up, that traumatizes you, that pains you, that makes you cry, that makes you angry. Just write down every bit of it. And as you keep on writing, as you keep on reliving that incident, it becomes a therapeutic tool and heals you, this writing of that incident. Because as you write, you are acknowledging it, you are accepting it, you are reliving what made you really feel bad, and you are realizing deep within you that you no longer need to carry it. And as you write it out, you'll feel a lot more relieved. If it does not go out in one day, write it for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. By the 7th day, it should be over. It should have released an emotional charge in you. And as you release all those emotional charges in you, remember, it is something of the past which you no longer need to carry. Just forgive yourself, forgive the other person, and remember that your life is your own to enjoy, to live. It is not something that anyone else need to dictate. And so, if you are really loving yourself and wanting to heal yourself, you will dig out all those past pains, all those past memories, all those past people in your life who have really hurt you. Just acknowledge them, acknowledge the incident. Forgive yourself if it is your fault. Forgive the other person if it is their fault. Forgiveness is one of the most beautiful tools which help you move forward in life. And as you acknowledge those past pains, it may lead you to depression, it may lead you to anger, but just accepting it, bringing out into the open, it may lead you to anger, it may lead you to a little violent type of behavior, irritation, but as more and more you accept it and accept to yourself that I don't need to carry it anymore, you will see the pain, the trauma slowly subsiding and moving out of your life. As it moves out of your life, you are much more relaxed, you are much more happier. Sometimes these traumas, this pain can become a chronic disease in your body, and it can totally disrupt your life. It can become a sciatica pain, it can become a recurring migraine, it can become a chest infection, it can be anything. Grief is so deep. We do not acknowledge the mind-body connection. But as I said before also, the minute you entertain some violent reactions in your body through anger, through pain, through trauma, through hopelessness, through helplessness, through the feeling of unfairness, you totally start disrupting your body. Your body does not feel okay. It feels disturbed, it feels sad, it feels destroyed in some way. But we are here to heal ourselves, not to destroy ourselves. And the first step to heal ourselves is to acknowledge our pain, to acknowledge the deep buried hurts inside us, and to release them. It is time to let go. And in this lockdown period, when each of us are having a bit more time for ourselves, a bit more time to rethink about the past and the future, I think it's high time we go back to those old incidents, those old memories, those old people who really hurt us and in some way destroyed our self-esteem, our self-confidence, our faith on people, and made us crippled in some parts of us. Yes, it crippled a part of us, and that is why we are not being able to move forward with our full potential. Because unless and until we release and let go of the past, nothing is there which will help us move forward. So my friends, I would like you to sit in meditation or do some deep breathing, recollect the past pains, accept them, flow through them, let them make you cry, let them make you angry, do whatever it comes to you, then forgive and move forward. And if it is still a little bit heavy, start writing down the pain until the pain is just a memory which you are keeping as a tool for growth. And how is it a tool for growth? Because there is a brilliance behind every trauma. Because every trauma in our life has taught us something. Be it in our judgment of people, be it in our judgment of ourselves, be it how to behave in a certain manner, or how to assess a situation in such a manner that we are not hurt in the situation. It may sometimes teach us just to have very less expectations of others. It may teach us how to talk so that our words are not taken in a wrong way. It can teach us that what others say is not important. What you think about yourself, it is what matters. So my friends, see the brilliance behind the trauma, see the brilliance behind the pain, and just move forward in life. In this lockdown period, when you have a lot of time with yourself, I wish you a happy journey inward, and I want each one of you to peep inside, look deep inside, and I would ask you to drop down into the comment section and write whatever you are fighting with, if you feel free to. And if there is anything that you are facing a problem with, you can always write down, and I can guide you on how to move forward in your life with that trauma, with that pain. Thank you, my friends. It was very nice talking to you. Wish you a beautiful day ahead and all the best wishes for a happy lockdown period. Thank you so much. This is Satarupa signing off, and you may see all my details in the drop down menu, and you may find ways to connect to me if you want to. Thank you, my friends. Have a beautiful day ahead.